Hey detectives, welcome to the crew. I'm Sailor Janda, and this is my Let's Play of Disco Elysium. We are getting close to finding Ruby now. I mean, we know where she is. We just need to, well, I would like to figure this ice cream thing out too, but I think that can technically wait. What we really want to do is... we're going to get this signature for Evrart. Which means...
Our tenant, the policeman.
I need to be good at suggestion, which I'm not. Clothes. -1. Damn, there's gotta be something in here that makes me get a suggestion. Okay. Navy coat. Yes, sir. Got a lot of clothes that reduce suggestion. Okay, suit jack. Oh wait, that just replaced the navy coat though. That's not good. Wow, we are just gonna be bad at this. Okay, well. Here's how this goes then. We just roll until we
Our
succeed.
tenant, the policeman. I hope the waves don't keep you.
It's really in her best interest to listen to you. You know how the world works.
Isabel, this place needs that construction project.
I've heard that pitch before plenty. Building this, building that, new jobs, new blood. Somehow the people here always end up holding the short end of the stick.
I could try to ask you for it to pay you.
Were you dropped on the head as a kid? You can't live off a pittance for long. Do you know who takes the cream of these deals? Real estate developers, construction companies, restaurant owners, clerks, accountants in La Delta.
That's all probably true.
Have some integrity. You're an officer of the law, not some fat slug's corrupt little crony.
It's okay. She's emotional right now. Keep at it. We're around.
Yeah. There's not much chance of us legitimately succeeding at this, but we're just gonna save skin because we need our
Our
gun
tenant,
back.
the policeman. I hope the wave.
It's really in her...
We really need our gun back.
Our tenant, the policeman.
It's really...
And it's unlikely that I'm gonna get a lot more points in suggestion anytime soon, so...
Our tenant, the policeman. I hope.
It's really...
Back with you guys when I pass.
that. Better go for shameless emotional manipulation. What's the grandmother's deepest vulnerability?
Well, that's messed
The
up.
grandmother card will do the trick. Last chance to turn back.
What's gonna happen to Lillian's kids, the twins and little Lily?
What do you mean? What's going to happen? We are gonna grow up, of course. I raised my own kids in this village, and they are doing fine for themselves.
Are they here now?
No, they moved to Faubourg for work.
And what do you think Lillian's kids are gonna do when they grow up?
Well, I imagine they'll grow up and leave too.
You've got her. Now just reel her in.
And then what?
Then,
She stares at the ground, unable to finish the thought. Look, Isabel, I actually do feel bad about this, but your village is a shithole.
you watch your tongue, boy. This village has held up much better than some people.
True. Even with her cataracts, she can pierce right through you.
That's cold.
That doesn't mean you're wrong, though. This place ain't what it used to be. Even I can see that. I don't believe the Fat Man's Youth Center is going to change anything. But what other choice do we have? It's not like the coalition government is coming to save us. I won't be around much longer anyway. Not with the dampness in my bones. If they want to take a chance, Who am I to stop them?
Exactly. Put the kids first.
Aye, we do. We do. But how do we do that?
Well, you can start by signing these papers.
Reluctantly, she takes the pen from your hand, scribbles her name on the line, and hands everything back to you.
See that you didn't just get us all screwed. I might be half blind, but I have a good memory for treachery.
Let's go mail it.
He's not dissatisfied with you, but with himself.
Yeah, I'm not super happy about it either.
You take the legal documents out of the envelope. The youth center cuts into the ocean like the bow of some great modern...
But I don't think that it's clear. What? Mailbox. We're talking about a mailbox back here? Oh yeah, this one right here.
The dented yellow mailbox greets you with its graffito, bullet holes, and an RCM sticker.
I knew we'd get to use this for something.
Yes, for sending mail.
Exactly.
You drop the white envelope in the darkness. It lands with a soft thud on what sounds like a couple of letters. About a week's worth of mail as collected in there. They'll empty this very soon.
Let's go back to Evrart. This better be worth it after what we did.
Yeah. Look, I'm not convinced what we did is entirely unethical. I have pretty much talked myself into saying, look, if this place had a functional government, they would have eminent domained that place in a heartbeat in order to build this youth center. And they would have. That's true. But it's still not entirely ethical, obviously. We are probably ruining what's left of the old washerwoman's life. We might legitimately do some good for the kids in the community, though. Not that Evrart's trustworthy, but like, what can he really do with a youth center? I mean, he can indoctrinate the youth to the Union. That's not a bad thing, really, so... He can indoctrinate the youth to him, maybe, which is a bad thing, but... Better a youth center than no youth center, I would think. Hey, Evrart.
Mr. Dubois, I hear the meeting with Titus was a glowing success. That's such a relief. Titus can be a handful sometimes. Now, what can Evrart Clare do for you today?
I mailed the signatures for you.
The Golden Boy returns once more. Wonderful. Simply wonderful, Harry. Of course. I already knew this.
He claps his hands together like a child who's just been offered cotton candy.
My friend, the mailman, confirms the letter is on its way. You've done a great thing today. You've given the children of Martinez a future and proven to be a true man of the left. I can finally trust you now. You're in my inner circle. You too, Mr. Kitsuragi. We can talk about anything. The strike, the murder, your lost gun, nothing is off the table.
I don't know. Your dirty forgery fingers aren't sure if playing this one straight was the right thing to do.
It's pretty morally gray.
We would have preferred trickery, but the choice was yours, sire. As always. You are the liege, and you're in.
So I know you're planning to force those guys out with the construction noise.
Harry, by now you should know I would never do anything tricky like that. However, if the construction noise and limited street access makes some people consider moving, well, let's just say there'll be freshly renovated buildings near the roundabout where those poor people can finally enjoy a significant uptick in quality of life. I'm talking real affordable workers' palaces.
Not sure if I believe him on that, but if true, it would actually be decent of him.
He proudly spreads his hands to demonstrate the size of the palaces. They're very large.
I doubt they're very large, but the shacks they're living in are total garbage anyway, so...
So the village is doomed.
The lieutenant says grimly.
You were there, you saw the place, a wasteland, there's nothing left. But mark my words, officers, we are going to reset it.
He slams his fist on the table, causing some of the coffee to spill.
Reset. I have big plans for Martinez, and they do not include humans living in those pig sheds on the coast. That land will be used for municipal buildings and commerce.
What do you mean?
Harry, imagine a youth centre supermarket church complex, employing hundreds, no, thousands of people. The coast will be lit up with enterprise and life. All those ruins out there turned into low-income housing.
Little question.
Harry,
over.
enough is enough. We're taking this district back. The war was 50 years ago, for God's sake. It's time to move on.
If even part of this is true, it would be good.
I accept your salute, Harry. All of it is true. I've got the centre, I've got room for a retail complex, and in 4 years I'll get the church too. The wheels are turning, Harry. The wheels of progress. This post-war limbo, I won't stand for it. There are kids practically playing with their own feces out there. It cannot go on.
There is true indignation in his voice when he speaks about the state of things, and even a touch of pain.
Eh?
The pain is true. He's seen kids do worse than that. And then there will be a giant statue of him towering above it all.
Are you gonna erect a giant statue of yourself, Evrart?
I'm not a symbolist, Harry. I'm a realist. My statue will be Martinez rebuilt. 5-story building complexes, kids off speed, and landowners in a zone hating me. That will be my statue. And yours. We're doing this together.
Thing is, everything he says is great, but I'm pretty sure he's lying about a lot of it. Well, you got my vote.
Oh, I do, Harry. I really do. I'm gonna make the working man richer than Joyce Messier with that vote of yours. That's my job. Just like yours is to keep the peace.
Right. Any chance you ordered the hanged man killed?
Order it. You know my men didn't kill him. They told you. It was a happy accident. You know how it is. No one takes the initiative. If I wanted him dead, I would have had to do it myself. And I'm too fat for that.
Why are you so fat?
Glad you asked. I've got type 2 diabetes because sugar and fat was all my mother had to give me and my brother Edgar when we were kids.
What a shame.
Good job too, as it made me ugly. And ugly people, Harry, are much better at politics.
I'm not sure that's true. What do you gain from him being dead?
Why, a war, of course.
Well, yeah.
And what do you have to gain from a war?
I don't feel like he gains from a war. The corporation will win a war.
Victory, Mr. Kitsuragi. I have victory to gain. We are going to start a war with the Wild Pines group and win before they even realize there is a war.
You ever heard what 2 giant Saray's hornets can do to a colony of bees, Evrart?
I have. It's a great story, Harry. Did you also know how the bee colony kills the giant hornet? They swarm and blanket it entirely until it suffers a massive heat stroke and dies.
That
He
is a
crosses
thing.
his hands contently, thinking of the interior temperature of the wasp rising.
I mean, I've certainly heard that. It's a thing.
They cook it alive in its exoskeleton.
Harry, we outnumber them 1,500 to 1, and that's just Martinez. With all the unions in Revachol, and with public opinion on our side, we can hold off 2 men, or 15 men, or even 50 men.
He might, but there'll be a lot of dead.
The more they send, the worse it's going to look for them. They made a huge mistake hiring those guys. No one likes foreign mercenaries.
That's true.
The leftists hate them, the fascists hate them, even the moralists think they're in bad taste.
There is going to be basically no one with any sort of like Revacholian patriotism or nationalism in them that's going to love hiring foreign mercenaries. Is this connected to the strike again?
Harry, there is no strike, only war. Class war. Or, in business terms, a dawn raid. Or wait. Is that when you still pay them something? Because we won't do that. We're not going to give nothing. We're going to take Terminal B away from them. The roads, the gates, the containers, that big crane, even the damn coffee maker. We're going to take all of it for the people, and fuck Wild Pines.
Fuck Wild
The
Pines.
word fuck rings like a gunshot from his mouth. He doesn't swear often.
So that's why you haven't let Joyce in?
Yes. It's also why I let that midget Gaumont go. He's too nice. I can't put him through this. Plus, he knows how to get in here. That woman can't tell her tits from her arsehole. She has no chance.
What?
Tits from her arsehole. It's a local saying.
Okay.
Actually, no, it's not.
Alright. Why are you telling me your plans?
Because we're friends, Harry. Besides, it doesn't matter now. You can go tell her if you want. It won't change the course of events. We have a significant head start.
With his permission, I'm going to tell her because I've heard it unlocks a really important white check. Or, thought that will unlock white checks.
It's already happening.
Do you know who killed the Hangman?
No idea. Could have been his own mother for all I know. If you ever find the guy, give him a big fat kiss from Evrart Clare. Couldn't have done it without him.
Sorry.
He really doesn't know.
Yeah, it doesn't really seem like anybody knows,
The guy,
which is interesting. How do you know it's a guy?
I don't. I told you it could have been his own mother. I'm pretty sure it wasn't anyone from the Union. Maybe it was the mob. Or maybe he killed himself because he was a closet socialist. Truth is, I simply don't know.
He really doesn't.
Alright. How many guys you got in the Union?
2,372. Plus yours truly, of course.
Not bad.
2,373 is a sizable contingent for a labor organization in Revachol.
How's this new harbor going to be funded?
Oh, you mean what sort of goods are going to be flowing through? How am I going to replace all the contacts we'll lose once the poo-poo hits the fan? The clients will ditch us. Harry, we've thought of everything.
Clients would take a well-known multinational conglomerate over a local mobster any day.
You think? Can't possibly hope to continue like you have.
Sure, some will go, but mark my words. The company will be unpleasantly surprised to see how many of them stay loyal to Martinez and to the new competitive contracts we can offer.
I'm not sure
With
about
renewed
that,
zeal sparked by communal ownership, the men will be shipping those containers double time. You'll be surprised to see how fast things go without parasites latching on. We'll have our hands free to pursue bold, exotic new revenue streams.
That's drugs.
Probably.
Drug trafficking.
Drug trafficking? Don't be stupid, Mr. Kitsuragi. There are perfectly legal, 100% ethical chemical factories on the Samaran Isola. You don't need to be colonialist about it. All they do is produce components to keep the pharmaceutical industry running. That's people's health we're talking about. Old grannies, little babes, people with disabilities.
Sounds a little shady, right?
The company thinks transporting these chemicals in bulk looks bad, has bad optics, may be illegal in some countries. The Debarders Union, however, we're all about the large volume column.
In bulk shipping, large volume column is a major buyer, a shark.
We're gonna transport the living daylights out of those materials, Harry. So your sick kid can get his Benefed, and your wacky uncle doesn't have to come off risperidone.
Benefed is a children's cold medicine, usually apricot flavored, and risperidone is used to treat severe psychosis.
And the kids on the street can get speed and pyrrolidone.
Sounds right.
I'm an old-fashioned guy, Mr. Kitsuragi. I sometimes grab a beer with the boys, but I have no idea about the things you just mentioned.
He smiles. No, that was a bare-faced. That was
But if I
absolute
were
lie.
to supply ingredients for some sort of rainbow party, I would make sure the Union took a fantastic share. And I'd keep that stuff far away from Martinez.
He's basically admitting to it.
Pretty much. Well, is Ruby helping you secure this?
Harry, if I was supplying raw materials to drug manufacturers, I would need an army of rubies.
Understood.
Yeah. Okay, look, I'm just after the murder here, Claire.
You know why you're such a good detective, Harry? You don't get
I
sidetracked.
get sidetracked
You
so
care about
much,
the
Evrart.
people you're supposed to protect, not some systems that may or may not be unethical. Anyway, let's not focus on the sensationalism of the drug trade. This hypothetical drug trade is all anyone ever seems to be interested in. It would only be a small part of the harbor's turnover, just like the harbor is, but a small part of Martinez.
Go on.
Let's look at the big picture. Martinez as a whole. There are little girls out there with dreams of making music. young mothers who want to start businesses, models who want to walk catwalks, and steel welders who want to weld steel. I'm gonna unite them all into one economic body. We're gonna incorporate this place to Kingdom Come. Everyone's gonna be in on the wealth, and everyone's gonna pull their weight.
Very ambitious. I like what you're doing for the working man.
Thank you, Harry, thank you. You have no idea how much it means to me, because in many ways, you are that working man. You have already done so much work.
Can I ask you about some union
We're
members?
way past specific union members now. This is the big time. We're talking about the future of Revachol here, Harry. You
We
can
are.
bother Leonard with that. He loves to run his mouth on such matters. But I'm in big time mode, Harry.
There's something different about him now. He's more vibrant, more alive in his big-time mode.
Fair enough. Can I get my gun?
Harry, I've got to be honest with you. Your gun was found 2 days ago. Withholding
Sounds
this
right.
information weighed heavily on me. But it had to be done.
Fine, where is
An
it?
old woman has it, and let me tell you, Harry, word on the street is she's a character. So watch out.
This must be the woman who bought the gun from Roy. The one he described as terrifying.
So it's still the woman who bought it from Roy?
Yes, the same one. I see you've done your research. The pawn shop made the gun easy to track. Crazy stuff, Harry. Selling your gun like that? Wild. Anyway, the neighbors of this old woman contacted my men because they trust me and the Debarders Union. Apparently, she was waving it around at the entrance to her building.
That's
Waving
nice.
the gun around doesn't sound good. None of this does.
She was waving it around at people?
As I said, she's a character. I didn't have time for details. It sounds like she's unstable, but don't worry. No one got hurt.
We might be looking at
Nice.
someone with a medical history here. Watch out. Unstable is good, actually. She will be easier to disarm. No, wait. Actually, unstable is pretty bad.
Unstable is very bad. Who is this old woman?
Unfortunately, I don't know anymore. You're gonna have to go in blind, Harry. But she's an old lady. How dangerous can she possibly be?
We're gonna get killed by the
Oh,
lady,
and
aren't
she
we?
calls herself the Pigs.
I, for one, find it refreshing. Finally, someone calls themselves a pig.
A smile flickers in the corner of his mouth. Alright, can you set up a meeting?
I already have. Tonight, starting 10 o'clock, near the old fish market on the coast. The one on the boardwalk, a little past the fishing village. Be careful, Harry. I would never set you up for anything dangerous, but you did ask for this. Now, back to the fun stuff.
More fun stuff. Seems like we already have fun stuff to do.
Yeah, that's it for now.
Great, Harry, great. I think we have truly built a bridge between Martinez and Jamrock today. We have united the RCM and the Debarders Union.
Suddenly, there's sadness in his tone.
This has been so great. I'm sorry we don't have more fun things to do together, but if you ever feel like bouncing something off me, my door is always open. I'm always happy to educate and very nice, Harry. Is there anything?
Alright, see you later, Evrart. Okay. This scheme is not that bad, except God knows how unethical he actually is gonna be about it.
Oh, hey, mister. I knew you'd be back to talk. No trouble at all, mister. No trouble. Mr. Evrart doesn't really want me to talk to people about union guys. But who did you want to talk about?
Tell me about this Edgar guy?
Mr. Edgar is Mr. Evrat's brother. He looks a bit younger, he does. But a very smart fellow. Very smart fellow indeed. He's away on some union business. Not even in Revachol, they say.
Okay.
All kinds of places he visits. Him and his brother both do when they're on a vacation. Right now, it's Mr. Evrat's turn to look after the union. But last year he spent a whole winter in South Africa.
He chuckles.
Left with the first autumn rains and didn't come back before the trees were green again.
Little guy chuckles again.
South Safari. A lot of bulk chemical manufacturing going on there. A lot of cargo shipments being made, too.
They're running a pretty major drug operation, but that's not my priority
The
right
trade must have been lucrative for the trip to be so long.
now. Alright, tell me about Mañana.
He's a union man through and through. Good guy. He's very calm, laid back, doesn't do much, talks to Evrart sometimes. Honestly, I don't know what he does for us, but it must be important because everybody likes him. Yes, they do. I think that's what he does. He makes everyone feel a little better.
Alright, measure head.
Whoa, he's really something. He doesn't talk much to me usually, but when he does, I don't really understand most of what he's saying. Actually, I don't think he would like me running my mouth about him like that. Once he said he's a dragon to this mob fellow who came picking a fight with some union men. I think he really believes Jean-Luc was a dragon because he ran right off. Another time he almost killed another guy, but I shouldn't talk about that.
Probably not. How about the guy in the container?
Who do you mean, mister?
The fancy guy in the suit and the container over there?
I don't know anyone like this, mister. Maybe he's one of Mr. Evrat's fancy friends. He knows all kinds of fancy people with suits and purdy carriages.
Leo falls
He
silent.
really feels very uncomfortable discussing matters related to Evrart with you.
I mean, about Titus?
Oh, Titus is a longshoreman through and through. He was born on a boat, they say. His veins are probably filled with salt water, I tell you. Nice, friendly sort, old Titus is.
Renee?
The night guard. He was a peculiar fellow. Headstrong and proud. We didn't really talk all that much. He died recently. Something with his ticker.
Yeah. Evrart?
I'd best not. I mean, I could, but I don't think Mr. Evrart would like it very much. You better ask him yourself, mister.
If anything, the ever-present smile on Leo's face gets even warmer.
Sure, mister. What can Leo do for you?
That's it. Thanks, Leo. Okay, let's get out of here. We can, let's see, we have 2 things that we can't do until after 2200. And then, let's see, the main thing really to do then is... we gotta pass this physical instrument check and sort out this thing with the, church. Right. Oh, well, yeah, no, that's not until 2200. That's... yeah. Ice cream maker. Oh, and Kuno. Yeah. We gotta pass this empathy check with Kuno. And we gotta get an ice cream maker. Talk to this guy.
Right to work! Right to work! Shame on you! What's it to you? Am I a suspect?
Every once in a while, it's like you can see glimpses of another guy under the guise of this fight.
We're all workers, right?
A monstrous shadow high above the fire traps of the domain. The 881 motorway running over this district of Jamro. Concrete pillars rise up from the midst of the dilapidated wooden houses. On the horizon, barely visible, the hazy machinery of the harbor. Life in the domain is even worse off than in Martinez. The cold air is stiff from the fumes of the motor carriages and lorries roaring overhead. Below, broken down, battered people mill on the dusty streets with no purpose. Yet amongst them, there is no sight of this man. Nowhere.
I don't think you're from the domain, buddy.
Yeah? What makes you say that?
Call it a gut feeling.
Your gut's got too much alcohol in it. Getting delirious.
The bulky man falls and turns away from you, focusing again on the harbor gates. I don't know what his deal is. He's definitely not. Well, except there's nothing. I mean, he's an outside hire, clearly. I don't think I actually learned anything new there. I mean, he's been suspicious all along. He's obviously... I mean, we know he's a scab. And we know he was brought in by the company, not Not like he's a legitimate. Everything he's talking about is bullshit. So... I did put a point into empathy at some point, right? Hold on, let me check. Thanks for watching, detectives. New parts will be up every other day, or you can watch live on Twitch. If you did enjoy, consider leaving a like and subscribing. And have a nice day, detectives. This is Sea Lord Jenda, signing off.